I couldn't be found out my big home. The bare necessities of life will come to you. They'll come to you.
Hey everybody, it's been a while. I know I've been gone for a little bit. I've been busy with work, I've been busy with life, and I know if any of you follow my Instagram, which you should, I'll put the URL somewhere around in the screen area and in the description, so you should follow me and say hi. But if you follow me on Instagram, you saw the big giant hole I put in the ceiling of the basement downstairs. I feel like an idiot for what I did, but you know, we all make mistakes in the hobby, and this was a big one. I mean, overall, thankfully, the only thing that was really damaged was the drywall. Everything else is fine. So, long story short, before we get into the tank update and all of that fun stuff, I have an RO system that I have connected along the edge of my room. Someone's tired. Oh. The water line goes around the edge of my room into my automatic top-off reservoir, which is just a Home Depot bucket because it was affordable, it works, it was easy to drill, I was able to modify it the way I needed to, which I should have done a long time ago, and if I had, I wouldn't have had that issue and wasted a whole bunch of time, money, and effort and caused a whole bunch of stress. But that's life, right? Which is part of this hobby, which I'm sure a lot of you are aware of at this point. Anybody else who's actually in this amazing hobby. Don't get me wrong, I still love it. I'm in love with it, and I have so much to do and share and all that fun stuff. So let's get into it. So first thing is first, I did manage to get rid of all of the green hair algae. Well, I should say all of it within the display tank. Now, sometimes I see a little bit cropping up here and there, but the sailfin tank, which is doing amazing at this point, to be honest with you, and absolutely stunning. I love watching this little guy just go and ravage the rocks. But other than the little bits that he eats, there is some in my sump, but I don't really care about that, to be honest with you. It's whatever. In fact, I want the algae to grow there to help with the nutrient export. So I have my LED on my sump. I have a Kessel 880 that kind of is on. I have it on a set schedule, so it's only on in the evening when the display tank lights turn off. But for a while there, I was running it almost 24/7 just to continually grow the algae because I didn't have any of them. You know, when I started, I did start with some Kinomorphin, but it just kind of is. I mean, there's still some there, but a lot of it kind of died, and I don't know. I'm playing with it, and still something I'm figuring out and learning as I go. So I figure, you know, as long as the green hair algae is not in my display tank, I don't really give. I don't really care what, you know, where it's at, as long as it's doing its job. But yeah, as you can see, the tank is lovely. I love where it's at. I did rescape the entire thing. I had taken the rocks out a couple times to brush them down with a toothbrush to get all of the green hair algae off, and it was like a nightmare to do. So I threw them back in there. I didn't really care what I was doing at the moment because I know I wasn't probably going to get rid of it. So eventually, when I noticed that it wasn't growing back, I decided to do one last, like, take everything out, scrub it back down, and put it where it is today. And I actually really like it. You know, I might consider redoing it or adding some more down the road. I'm kind of just playing with it and seeing what I like to do. I'm really kind of like go with the flow with this thing. I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing everything properly with my coral and fish care. Everything's getting quarantined and dipped properly as it comes in. The sailfin tank was in quarantine for about 3.5 weeks. I did not actually treat it with any kind of medication. I'm kind of going with this approach with medications where I'm treating if I really feel like it's necessary. I don't really want to treat these fish and cause them any more stress. Not to mention the places where I got these fish were treating with copper prior for weeks on end. They run copper continuously in some of their systems. So with that, knowing that, I just made sure that the fish that are quarantined are comfortable, which I'll show you the setup here shortly. The next big piece of news would be Jack. I got a clownfish, and I got it from my good friend Josh. You guys might know him as the Millennial Reefer, who also has a YouTube channel, which I will link in the description below. You guys should go check him out. Really cool dude. I've really enjoyed his company, and we've been talking a lot back and forth. It's fun. We actually met up at a fish store, was it like 2 weeks ago at this point, when they were having like a massive sale. Like, they were doing 50% off everything, and we actually ended up meeting a couple friends there. They had all, I wasn't planning on going because I was like, I don't need to spend more money, but I went and I saw them, and I did spend a lot more money, so I couldn't help myself, which I'll show you what I got here in a second. But yeah, so he gave me this clownfish, adorable little thing. Its name is Jack. We are pretty sure it's a female, so at the moment I'm assuming that did not know what, you know what, that doesn't even matter. Its name is Jack, it is happy, it is adorable, and that's what we're gonna go with. This is an all-inclusive reef tank. But yeah, so apparently Jack was hosting an anemone at one point, but the other clownfish Josh had did not take too kindly to Jack, so they would fight a lot. Pretty sure that they're both female, so that explains, you know, the aggression. And I don't have an anemone. I have a really pretty elegance, which is doing better than it was. I was having some issues with it, and it was not doing so hot. But after taking some care and doing a lot of research, I think it's bouncing back, which I'm happy about. So between that and my torch coral that I just got literally maybe like 3 days before I got Jack, I picked Jack up with my hand. I put him in the tank, and I put my hand right next to the torch, and I kind of opened it just a little bit, and he kind of swam out, checked things out, swam back into my hand, which was adorable, and then he like swam back out, and he's kind of been like hosting the torch coral ever since. The torch is not really happy with this arrangement, but I think it's tolerating it the best it can. I can tell that it doesn't get a whole lot of chance to really extend fully, so I don't know if that's going to affect it long term, but so far so good. Everyone seems to be tolerating each other in there, and so we'll see how that goes. Either way, it's adorable, and Jack absolutely hates my glass cleaner. Like, I cannot clean my glass without it like freaking out and attacking it. Thankfully, it hasn't like really nipped me. It's nipped like my syringe and some other tools I've used, but but we all know at this point that clownfishes are kind of little assholes at times, so comes with the territory. Let's see, what else? I did get a couple new coral as well. I know I mentioned the torch. I also got a fungia plate. No, whatever. But it's really pretty. I've been trying to play around with the placement of it. I know, you know, sometimes you find conflicting information on the interwebs of knowledge. So I'm trying to see if it likes like a lower light. I actually have not seen its like tentacles come out. I'm pretty sure that this type of coral does have really short, small tentacles. At most, I only see its skeleton at times, and I mean, it looks like it's doing well, but I'm not sure. This is my first time with this specific coral, and I'm trying to figure out more about it to see if I am making sure that I'm doing the right thing with it. I've got a couple new Euphilia. I got my Octospawn along with the torch. I have 3 hammers in total now. I have a couple Blastos and a couple Acans that I bought / won on one of my local fish store live auctions and stuff that they do. In terms of fish, not much has changed. The sailfin tank is now in the main display, and I managed to pick myself up a coral beauty. Now this one is an older fish. I know that it's at least been in a reef aquarium for a total of 3 years, so it's well established to a reef like environment with other fish and a different variety of coral. So as far as I know, this specific coral beauty should do really well. If I do see any kind of like picking up my coral or other fish or whatever, I will have to figure something else out with this guy. But absolutely gorgeous. The yellow and blue and purple, like the colors on this thing are just stunning. So enough about the reef tank. I know that everybody here is as salty as I am. I do have other plans for the fish room and my freshwater stuff. My next big project, I think, will be converting my closet into a workbench slash quarantine area. So I plan on getting rid of everything that's currently in there, and I've actually have all my stuff ordered, all my supplies, all my lumber, everything I need for it. But I plan on building myself a brand new custom-made workbench slash quarantine shelving rack system. Like, my ideal state here would be enough room to fit a couple of the brute trash cans, because I plan on doing RO/DI water for both my salt and freshwater. Yes, I know about mineralizing the freshwater stuff, which I will get into in a later video and show you what I end up doing for that. I haven't started it yet. I'm still using my tap water, but I'm kind of done with it. I've never really trusted it, and I mean, things are fine now, but I really think I'm going to see a lot of improvement with some of my freshwater stuff. But my big project for the weekend is at least starting that. I might be able to finish it. I kind of have the plans all up in my head right now, so hoping that goes well. I'm not the most, handy or craftsman-like person, but I think I've done fairly well for myself doing my DIY projects, so I'm excited to see how this goes, and building something like this is always a fun project, so we'll see how that goes. Last but not least, for my freshwater stuff, I have some big plans in mind for what I plan on doing with this. So right now I have the two 10 gallons, I have the 55 gallon, and I have the 20 long. I did tear down my 5 gallon that was near my my desk and computer. I honestly have such a difficult time with nano tanks. I love them. They are simply gorgeous. I love everything about them, other than the fact that they are extremely difficult to keep parameter wise depending on what you're keeping. And even just having a betta fish, unless you're keeping up on your water changes and doing them frequently, even if you have the best filtration in the world, like, that is not something you can just skip out on. And I have been lazy with some of it, and suffice to say, I was not happy with how it was going, and it turned out to be a lot more work for such a small tank, and I just wasn't happy with it. So I took it down, and I moved everything that was in it into my 20 long gallon. So but for my plans and what I plan on doing now is those two 10 gallons at the top will be joining another 2 to 4 10-gallon tanks in my quarantine area, where I plan on quarantining new incoming fish, both fresh and salt alike. I plan on replacing both that and the 20 long gallon at the bottom with 33 gallon longs, or possibly something custom depending on how that works out. So I'm kind of in the middle of negotiating with someone I know that does custom aquariums and seeing what I can work out, but I may end up going with like your standard Aqueon brand. But the purpose of that is that I know it's the same length as the 55 gallon, it's just like half the height. So my end goal, it's something I've always wanted since I started this hobby, is having like a tank, like having like it aquascaped in a way that it looks and resembles a stream, and I have an extra canister filter that I would like to hook up to it to kind of give it like that natural flow. So it'll, the output will be on one end and the input will be in the other. So that's my end goal, and I am excited to see where that goes, because I've been wanting to do that for such a long time. I was originally going to even build my own custom aquarium, but that just didn't turn out because that was like my first tank, and I didn't want to have to worry about it like exploding and ruining my house and causing water damage. But even though I did that anyway, nobody wants to hear about that again, right? And last but not least, I do have an announcement to make, and I've been like wanting to tell everybody this for a long time, but it's kind of been this thing that's been long time development, and it's taken a lot of my time because it's kind of been like this one-man army thing for it. But I am in the process of developing a app for the fish keeping hobby. My end goal with that is to kind of help connect the community at large, no matter how new, how experienced you are, veteran or newbie alike. Everyone will be able to participate in this app. So I'm not going to give out too many details at the moment, but you guys can expect that in probably the coming months as I get closer and closer to wrapping it up and bringing it live. So again, I've been dying to tell everybody, so I'm not quite ready to debut it, but that is another reason why I have been so absent on YouTube lately. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Fish on Fish Fan, and until next time, I'll catch you later. Hey, are you new to the fish keeping hobby, or are you a veteran with experience you'd like to share with others? Either way, why don't you come and join the rest of the community in the discussion on the Fishy Business Discord server. Discord is a community-driven chat application.
Freshwater, saltwater, shrimp, and more.
Our community grows every day. All are welcomed, and we would love if you would join us.
You can find links to the server and the application in the description below.
And as always,
we thank you for watching the video.
So fish on, Fish Fam, and we'll see you there.